Hey folks, so the thing I do every day is I help people in ensuring that one of the most important transactions of their life, buying or selling a new home, goes as smoothly as possible and that they're able to fully maximize their financial opportunity. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm doing a series. I'm taking you through 25 lessons I've learned in the last 25 transactions I've been a part of. So here we go. The first thing that I've learned is that it is so important to try as hard as possible to avoid scheduling your closing for Friday. Now, the story goes out to some lovely friends and clients of mine that they were moving here from Tullahoma, and when I met them, they were selling their current home in Tullahoma to some good friends of theirs, people that they'd known for years. And they had a closing date scheduled for Friday. Well, they realized whenever they were using me to help them purchase their new home, we got to talking about everything and all the logistics, and they realized they had to try and close on their new home the same day because they'd have nowhere to take all of their stuff. They'd have the moving truck loaded up and had nowhere for it to go. So, I mean, like, does this sound familiar? Surely it does. I mean, essentially, they were going to have to close on their new home the same day that they closed on their previous home. Well, this is entirely possible, and it usually can be executed pretty easily. However, their closing date, like I said, was on a Friday. So I said, guys, hey, we can try to pull this thing off, but it's going to be a long shot because there's so many other people that we're depending on here. Well, this couple, the buyers for their previous home in Tullahoma, basically what happened was their paperwork from their lender didn't come in time. So essentially, they were caught in this scenario where the title company couldn't process all the stuff and all the paperwork and funds quick enough to be able to get their new home closed in Murfreesboro on time before the weekend. So luckily, it ended up being that the paperwork was so far behind that they didn't have to sell their previous home until a week later, and so they were covered. But anyway, here's where I tell this story. You see, usually it can take a while for paperwork to pass back and forth from title companies or for a wire transfer to happen to and from a bank and all that. So when you start dealing with multiple houses, multiple banks, multiple title companies, the money is surely likely not going to come through exactly on schedule right when you want it to. All right? So this can be a huge problem if it's a Friday and you're ready to move in and you've closed on your new home, but the sellers of that new home, they say, hey, we haven't really received the funds yet, so you can't really move into your house yet, and we don't want to give you the keys. So basically, then you have a whole weekend where you have to wait for banks to open up so you can move in, and it's just a disaster. So can you imagine like what that would be like? So all that to say, if you can avoid Friday as your closing day, you need to do it. Like, I know it's tempting because it's easier to ask off work on a Friday, or you want to buy your new home right before the weekend. Just so you can, move in and all that. But trust me, it just leaves so much room for things to go wrong when you're buying a new home. So, hey, quick question. Do you know someone whose closing day was botched or they were stranded over a weekend without a home just because the wire transfer didn't come through on time? Hey, would you tell me about it? Leave your story below or email me. I would love to learn more about it so that I can help people and make sure that they don't make the same decision, going forward, or the same mistake. So, all right, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.